ABC Listen. Podcasts, radio, news, music and more.
This technology that we are using here is simply not as good as technology that's used in other countries. You talk to the umpires, they'll tell you the same thing. They can't trust it. They've got a third umpire sitting up in there that's got to make decisions based on what he's seeing that the technology is providing, and sometimes they have a gut feel that it's not right. That can't happen. You've got to be able to trust the technology that's in place.
Australian cricketing great Ricky Ponting driving to the heart of the great snicko debate. When Alex Carey was incorrectly given not out by the on-field umpire, followed by a howler from the TV umpire, fuelled by incorrect information from the technology company, BBG, we had a systemic failure. Carey went on to score a maiden Ashes ton. The technology company in question has given a mea culpa, but their explanation doesn't entirely add up. The idea of the third umpire is to prevent howlers, not create them. So what happens when you can't trust the game's safety net? I'm Patrick Stack. This is ABC Sport Daily. Ben Cameron is the executive producer for the ABC's cricket coverage. He's at Adelaide Oval. He's going to break down this story for us. Ben, how is it that Alex Carey was given not out when he appeared to edge the ball to the wicketkeeper, 72, day one of the third test?
Well, that's the question everyone's asking, in particular those who hold England closest to their heart. I think you can distill it down to two words: human error. Or that's at least what those who run real-time snicko are telling us anyways, that it's not a technology issue, it is human error.
There's a clear gap, no spike. I'll go back to Raja on field, Nick stay with his original
What's the big spike from, though?
I think the spike's before the ball passes the bat.
Yeah, but what?
That's a great question. Not out is the call.
And look, in all walks of life, in everything you do, that is impossible to guard against, isn't it, Stacky?
You would agree. Oh, I certainly would agree. Look, Alex Carey has admitted that he hit the ball.
I thought there was a bit of a feather or some sort of noise when it passed the bat. It looked a bit funny on the replay, didn't it, with the noise coming early? But yeah, if I was given out, I think I would have reviewed it. Probably not confidently though. It was a nice sound as it passed the bat. Yeah.
I just wanted to understand what the explanation from the technology company responsible for the execution was after that admission from Carey.
Well, it was an interesting admission, wasn't it? He sort of went right up to the line of admitting that he hit it without saying he absolutely hit it. He said that there was a strange noise. He felt like there was a little feather or something. He said that if he was given out, he probably would have reviewed it as well, but not with a great deal of confidence. The explanation we've received from the company that runs real-time snicko, courtesy of the BBC, who got a comment last night, is that it was human error and that the operator selected the wrong stump mic, which I must admit doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me, because the high-pitched snick sound appeared before the ball got to the bat. So I'm just thinking that if it was the bowler's end stump mic that was selected, wouldn't the nick sound appear after it's past the bat? We've had all kinds of issues this series with the sounds not lining up to the pitches, but that's just counterintuitive to me. And I would think that 22 yards from one set of stumps to the other with the sounds would be negligible anyway. So I must admit, I'm rather confused by the whole thing.
What was interesting in this particular case, and in my experience, I've never seen a spike like this occur without the bat hitting something like a pad or the ground, or the ball hitting the pad. Now, there's nothing else out there. Absolutely nothing else out there. So my gut tells me from all of my experience on field and also as a TV umpire, that I think that Alex Carey has actually hit that ball, and the technology calibration hasn't been quite right to give the game the outcome that it was looking for.
Yeah, I think you raise a really interesting distinction there. And the match referee has ultimately reinstated England's lost review, which feels fair. But what you touch on there is intriguing for me in terms of other concerns about the technology this series. What else have we seen that raises eyebrows?
Well, Marnus Labuschagne was an obvious one earlier on in the series where it seemed like he'd clearly nicked it. But again, when the ball was passing the bat, it was flatlining. And when the ball was past the bat, we had the high-pitched spike that is consistent with an edge. So we have seen it a few times throughout the series. It it just doesn't feel like the audio and the pictures are matching up, which is of critical importance. We've had ones given out where it doesn't match up, and then we've had ones given not out because it does match up. So I think it's the inconsistency that is frustrating everyone.
The other incident that comes to mind was Jamie Smith in Perth, who was given out when a snicko spike showed up after the ball had passed his bat and glove.
The ball's away from the body. No, that's a murmur. That's a murmur. That's a murmur.
Gee, there's not a lot in it. But there is a slight spike.
Satisfied the ball has made contact with the bat. My decision, Nitin, you need to change your decision from not out to out. I can see a clear spike as the ball has just passed.
Wow. Cricket fans in my life are asking why hotspot isn't in use, the heat tracking technology that would potentially show an edge. Am I right in saying that's a broadcaster's choice, not a Cricket Australia choice?
Absolutely right. So it is the television broadcasters who pay for this technology to enhance their broadcasts. So it is not a stipulated requirement by Cricket Australia or the ICC. And that's where I believe it should fall. It should be the ICC, who want the best technology to officiate the games, that should be covering the cost of hotspot that would allow us to solve any matter of these issues. I mean, I'm sure on all of those edges, we would have seen a hotspot. I don't think it should be incumbent on the broadcaster, who's already paying astronomical rights to broadcast the game, to then cover the technology that allows it to be appropriately officiated. That should be, for mine, a cost covered by the ICC that allows the game to be as fair as possible.
Ali Mitchell and Darren Lehman addressed the cost factor on the ABC coverage, essentially saying it might be the host broadcaster's responsibility right now, but it probably should fall to the ICC.
The blame lies with the operators of the technology. So you can have all the technology in the world, but actually human error still comes into it in the lining up and, in this case, the calibrating of the technology. So that's where the fault lies. But if you zoom out, the bigger picture really should be that if you've got technology in the international game, it should be funded by the ICC so that it's uniform across the game and the best technology wins that race for use, and therefore it's used everywhere and we don't have situations like this.
With the amount of people here, 50,000 plus each test match each day, unbelievable crowds, unbelievable money, use hotspot again. Spend the money. Spend the money on hotspot. You know, you've got that many people here, don't worry about it. You get in the back, lads. Spend the money. Host broadcasters, whoever it is in charge, ICC, spend it. Spend it and spend it straight away.
How big was that moment in the context of the series, Ben? On a scale from a kind of Joel Wilson Headingley howler, where Nathan Lyon appears to have Ben Stokes dead to rights at a crucial moment in the game, to a kind of garden variety mistake, where do you see the Alex Carey non-dismissal?
Well, don't excuse the Aussies in the Joel Wilson mistake, because they spawned a review just before that and then didn't have one left to use on that non-decision from umpire Wilson late in that test match. So I don't excuse the Aussies in all of that, but it's impossible to quantify. So, look, we can always look at it from a quantitative point of view and say, look, he was on 72, he went on to make 106, that's 34 runs it cost them. But qualitatively, it's always different in the context of the game, because everyone who's played cricket knows you stand out in the field and you say, one brings two, Stacky, one brings two, and it often does. So does it mean Australia are out last night? What does it mean in terms of what their total actually ends up with? You can't just quantify these things as exactly 34 runs.
Maybe a better question is what this does for the trust in the system. Broadcasters like Jonathan Agnew and David Lloyd, they are just some who have given voice to concerns.
Just say there's no DRS. There's no DRS. We don't have it. The umpire decided in his mind that he's not hit that. And we wouldn't be talking about it now if we didn't have DRS. DRS is supposed to improve everything. Now we're talking about DRS failure. It's failure. It's not worked. And it's come out, and I've seen the statement, they said human error.
We have 2.5 Ashes tests remaining. How can players, officials, fans trust this system right now, maybe ever again? It feels rickety right now.
Well, it's hard to, isn't it? And this is the thing. Like, if people are going to be making decisions based on the technology, what they're being provided with needs to be accurate. So if you're the third umpire, the TV umpire, Chris Gaffney, looking at that yesterday, and there is a spike when the ball is that far away from the bat, before it gets to the bat, how could you give that out? You can't. So it does make it really difficult for the umpires, because what's one thing we always say about umpires in every sport? Don't guess. Whatever you do, don't guess. And if the technology is incorrect, well, then we're essentially asking them to guess. And that's a bad place for umpires to be.
Ultimately, these are providers that are licensed by the ICC. The broadcaster then engage that supplier. But the short answer is we're not happy with it. We don't think it's good enough. And we definitely think that we need to be assured that it won't happen again. So we're asking the right questions of the right people.
Ben Cameron, appreciate your time. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure anytime, Stacky.
Just before we get to the headlines, it's worth mentioning that we did reach out to host TV broadcaster Fox Sports, technology company BBG, and the International Cricket Council. No one came back to us with the comment. Headlines. The cricket continued on day 2 in Adelaide. Australia was all out for 371, and then recalled spinner Nathan Lyon took 2 wickets in and over to leave England 3 down before lunch in reply. It could have been 4 when Joe Root edged to Alex Carey. Incredibly, another DRS moment featuring the keeper. This one fell the tourists' way. It didn't matter too much as Pat Cummins got his man a short time later.
Root waits and he's forward, he's caught behind, he's edged it, and Cummins gets his man again. I think that's number 12 for Joe Root, out to Cummins. He pushed, he edged. That's a big wicket for Australia, a blow for England.
A reminder, live coverage is on the ABC Listen app, and you can search for the ABC Cricket Podcast to get full end-of-play analysis from Corbin Middlemass and ex-Test opener Ed Cowan. Those guys are the best in the business when it comes to cricketing conversation and analysis. Tim Zhu has begun the long climb back from the boxing wilderness. He comfortably defeated American Anthony Velasquez in a unanimous points decision. It was patient, it was methodical. We're not sure it's going to send him straight back to the top of the sport, but a good confidence booster when a loss may have spelt the end.
A couple of days ago, same old questions. Are you going to retire after this fight if you lose? Blah, 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 blah. But no. Back, guys. Back. All right?
He is back.
This was the Sydney Siders' first fight under new Cuban trainer Pedro Diaz. FIFA is having a bit of a week of scrutiny. There's been anger over the extortionate price of tickets to the FIFA World Cup, which resulted in the football body releasing a limited number of cheaper tickets. Now, they've announced their prize money pool for the event, and it has raised some eyebrows. The winners will pocket US $50 million out of a total prize pool of $655 million US. Why that has surprised some is because FIFA has committed to having equal pay for men's and women's events, and the blokes are set to earn 6 times what the women took home in 2023. So FIFA has 2 years to up its game substantially on the women's front. Speaking of women's football, you'd love to see Sam Kerr scoring goals again. The Australian is building back to form as she continues that recovery from that ACL injury. This effort saw Chelsea beat Wolfsburg and qualify for the Champions League quarterfinals.
Kerr's there! And Sam Kerr does! What Sam Kerr does! And what a precious goal it could be for Chelsea as they look to qualify automatically for the quarterfinals.
Ellie Carpenter is also playing for the Blues, so at least 2 Matildas heading into the final 8. Arsenal, home to Tilly's trio, Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford and Kyra Cooney-Cross, finished just outside of automatic quarters qualification, but remain alive in the European competition. I'm Patrick Stack. This is ABC Sport Daily, produced by Jason Ford. Thanks to Channel 7, SEN and ESPN for the extra audio used in this episode.
Discover more great ABC podcasts, live radio and exclusives on the ABC Listen app.